God's heart, God's dream was for his people to know him, for all people in this world to know his love, to encounter him in power, to be healed and delivered, to be equipped to be powerful vessels of God, victorious over the devil. That's God's whole heart. But our hearts aren't naturally that. We have to deal with the flesh. We have to deal with our selfish nature. All of us. It's not immediate overnight when you give your life to Jesus that your heart is aligned with God's completely, right? So the beautiful part of this process and the years of process time is that every day you obey, you show up, you do what God's calling you to do. He changes you. He changes your heart. He gives you desires you didn't have before. And that's what happened for me. When I first started preaching, I had zero desire to preach. I love to see people be touched by God's power, but I had zero desire to pray for people. I just wanted to watch them encounter God's power. So I had a heart for people, but I didn't have a heart to minister at all. But as I kept showing up week after week after week, God changed my heart. But that changing of the heart literally happened by just consistently obeying, consistently showing up, consistently choosing God, choosing what he wanted me to do. That's how the change came. And so fast forward 4.5 years, now I have a heart to minister. Now my passion to see people know Jesus and encounter him has grown so much. And so that prepared me for the greater things, the greater responsibility, the cost. And so instead of being like, this cost is too much, I think I want to give up. Instead, I was like, of course, of course there's a cost. It's worth it. When it was hard, when I was tired, when the persecution was tiring and so difficult and painful, God had made my heart so passionate for his kingdom, to please him and to serve his people, that passion in my heart outweighed the pain, the discomfort of the cost of persecution, of the cost of so much time that I don't have to myself anymore, but it's work for God. You see? And so that preparation God gave me helped me to always have the right perspective. One time when I faced the worst persecution, I'm fighting tears constantly just because it was painful. Not out of weakness, but just because it was heartbreaking. And the persecution was such betrayal by several people in a public manner and was lies completely made up about me. And that exact day or the next day after that happened, and it was continuing to happen for several days consecutively online before everyone, I was ministering a 2-day conference. And so, of course, I did not want to do that. I was fighting tears. But I showed up anyway. And because God had prepared me, I was able to be strong. I was able to have the fierce lioness heart and remember that God has called me for this. His people here in Kentucky, Louisville, where I was at the time, they need his power. There are people who are oppressed. And these people, they don't believe the lies. They want Jesus. They don't want to follow the Pharisees. They want Jesus. And God has sent me there to release his power to them. So this is serious. This is a big deal. Who cares what people say about me? Who cares about my feelings? Who cares that I'm trying to fight tears and stuff? Who cares that I would rather just lay in the bed and just have a moment? Who cares? This is critical. These people are so much more important than all of that junk, how I feel, how my feelings are hurt, all of that, But I can't tell you that I'd be strong and that I would have that heart and that I'd be able to have that right perspective if I didn't go through that preparation time. God's perfect preparation process. That was the perfect amount of days, the perfect amount of years, the perfect amount of seconds. And in those moments, we're like, God, why isn't the promise here yet? He's like, I know what I'm doing. You need this, or else when it comes, you'll lose it. You won't be able to do what I've called you to do.